Hey everybody, welcome to Ellis Mowers. I appreciate y'all watching the channel as always. We're going to work on another push mower today. This is a Craftsman self-propel 21-inch front drive. Got it in on a trade. I have worked on it for a couple of times for the customer, and they ended up just upgrading finally to another, just a push mower. It's only a couple years old, but it was another Craftsman push mower, and got this one in on trade. They bought a weed eater from me too, but anyways, it looks like it's dirty and cables are frozen, and I know it has a leak at the carb bowl, and hopefully that's it. We'll see if we can get this thing going in this video, hopefully. Yeah, if you have any questions about this video, feel free to reach out to me, Ellis at ellismowers.com, or on Instagram and Facebook at ellismowers09. I also have a partnership with HiPA. If you need any carburetors or parts or air filters or any sort of that kind, be nice. I'd appreciate it if y'all use that link down below. I'll get a little bit of commission if you buy parts off of HiPA using that link. Let's go ahead and get started on this video of repairing the Craftsman. Alright guys, so this is a Craftsman. Again, I'll give you a quick walk around. I know y'all like to play Guess the Year, so give it a good look. Tell me what you think. I don't know the year. I try and not look until y'all do. Probably going to think this is about a 2004 or a 2005, maybe even a little bit newer. Alright, again, 7 horsepower Briggs, 21-inch front drive self-propel. Let's look at the model number and the sticker now that y'all made your guesses. So it's a 917378531. It was made 10/18 of 2002. So it is 20 years old. Not bad for its age. I just hate these overhead valve Briggs Quantums. They're just, you can't find parts for them very much anymore, and they surge all the time, and it's not the best to keep running. This one was running though. It has a little bit of a fuel leak. I think it's just the gasket of the bowl that needs to get fixed. And again, this cable's frozen. We're going to convert it to just a toggle switch. Unless I have a cable here, I might. And if that's the case, I might see if I can just change this out, since everything else is actually in decent shape on this mower. And one other thing I remember about this mower is that the self-propel was a little bit on the, like this was the only wheel that drove, and I'm pretty sure that wheel actually had good tread on it, so I don't know if like an axle or something broke in the side of the self-propel or not, because this side seemed like it was off to the races, and that side didn't do anything. So we got that going on. Oil, let's see what the oil looks like. Or gas, there's no gas in it because it leaked all out. I think I changed the oil in this thing too when I had it last year. Yeah, oil is actually very clean. And blade's decently sharp. So this is one of those, like, get it running. And we'll see what we ended up having to do with the self-propel. Let me go ahead and get started on it. Alright y'all, so I've took the cable off. The cable's rusted and it's done. I'm just going to wire switch to this. I don't know if I have a cable that will fit kind of like this one needs to fit. So keep the bar around though, because you never know when you might need those. Wiring a switch is pretty easy on these. I might look at a cable. But anyways, we'll see. Just wanted to rig this thing up real quick just to see if I could get it to run, and if so, then we'll keep on cruising with it. I'm gonna put some gas in it, and one other thing that I did is I replaced the primer bulb on it, because the primer bulb was kind of almost like a hack job. I used a classic primer bulb to just get it, because I didn't have one and it needed to get the thing out so they could cut the grass. So it worked for what it needed to. And we're going to put gas in it. I put the proper primer bulb in it. And if I remember right, it was leaking from the carb bowl gasket. If that's the case, I can fix that real quick. Let me prime it. And hopefully we can get this thing to run for us. So that's good. It does run. Self-propel seems like it's kind of not there. There we go. I think I got it back. Let's try it one more time here. know if it's got a little bit too much of a, I don't know if it's got fuel, like the thing is messing up over here, where it's flooding or not. But we shall see. It runs good when you get it to run. That breather pipe's about shot on it though. I don't know if I put the shut-off switch on there because it was leaking, or if it because it was having an issue with flooding the carb. I can't remember, but I'll find out here shortly. Anyways, I think I'm going to take the front wheel off here, give it a look, see if I've got an issue with the actual self-propel wheel there with the teeth, or if it's something inside the transmission, because you can see the wheels will turn. It's just that wheel turns a lot faster than that one. Alright guys, so I do need to get it into the carburetor. It wouldn't start after that first initial run. Go figure. I've already taken just the two 5/16 inch screws that were on this carburetor. Remember, this carburetor is a little bit different than the carburetor for the Quantums. I'll pull that up there so it doesn't leak. And it's got the return on the top here, and I think we got something going on either with the I don't know if there's something going on with the bowl gasket or what, but we're going to see if we can get this carb sorted out. Let me get my 3/8. And we'll take this carb off. Put this fuel line in order for it to stay. There we go. Let's see what we got going on here. There's not really any good aftermarket options just because these mowers aren't that popular. But you can see that the bowl gasket was leaking some down here at the bottom, so that probably didn't help matters. And it's already got gas on there, so let's take the 1/2 inch screw and take that off. See what we got here. Oh, it's going to be a 13 mil because it's aftermarket. There we go. There we go. Oh, so we got some good music playing downtown. I'm about 2 blocks from City Hall, and I can hear it. Which is kind of nice. Oh, hello. So as you can see, we've got a bunch of rust in this bowl. I think we've got a carb needle and seat that's kind of sticking there too. Seems like that's working. It's just a little bit on the crusty side. Just need a little bit of, it's already getting better. So might just pop this in the ultrasonic and let it go to town on us. Let me answer this phone call. Alright guys, I want to show you something on this after I sneeze. Whew. Alright. So here on this carburetor, what I discovered was this thing had a blockage in this little hole right here, and that is like a relief. I guess this is where you push air in the primer, and this is where some of it comes out. It's kind of like a relief valve, I think. I'm not completely sure, but it is associated with the primer. This was actually blocked. I sprayed some air through it and a little bit of wire and got it to where it's free now. So hopefully that was my issue. I'm going to put this back on and let it run for a little while, and I'm going to see if that helps fix, or if that has fixed the issue, and I'll get back with you. But everything else running wise seems like it's okay. Runs a little bit rough, but it kind of makes sense that it runs okay whenever I had this off, but then when I put the air filter on, it would choke out basically and wouldn't restart. So I'm going to put the air filter cover and stuff back on and see what ends up happening with it. This is one of the craziest things I've seen. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So in between this plastic intake from the air filter and the carburetor is this gasket. Now, for the life of me, it would run fine until you put that on, and then put this air filter with primer bulb on. And then after that, it would choke out and flood. But now, I've ran it for a few minutes. Let me see if it'll restart. And I'll even prime it like 3 or 4 times to see if it'll restart after that, after a few pulls. That's the craziest thing I've seen. Let me prime it about 3 or 4 times here. See if it'll start back up for us. So, that's one of the craziest fixes I've had. You see, it's not running 100%, but go ahead and clean it up, and then we'll work on the self-propel. Alright, y'all, I'm going to show you to the best of my ability what's going on here. I've taken the wheel off, now I'm going to take the gear off here. And I'll show you. So that is supposed to lock in to this self-propel, it looks like, and it's not. So like this is supposed to lock into this mechanism here, and obviously I can't get it off, so might take the other side off just to see what it looks like, see what difference there is in this. And also, if it weren't insult to injury, what I thought fixed the carburetor is not. It's leaking again, so that's great. Just not having a fun day with this mower at all. Alright. Let's see what's going on this side. different that's allowing this to roll. A lot more rust, that's for sure. Alright, let's see what we got here. Oh, I think I see what's going on. Darn. So, I think yep, that's exactly what it is. This doesn't have this has got like a tooth. It's not a regular self-propelled deal. It's got a tooth on it that attaches to this, and this tooth is missing. And so it's not catching the wheel. It's just letting it slide. My goodness. I don't have anything like this, I don't think, to fix this, to fix that. And then I've got a leaking carburetor. It's like, at what point do you just not even worry about it? I've got another one, I think, in the shed back here. I can look and see what I got carburetor-wise, but I don't have any of those parts needed for the self-propel, because this is one of them DLM Craftsmans, and unless I've got one back here on this Husqvarna on a couple of Husqvarna push mowers, I don't know if these are replaceable parts, to be honest with you, because it's got this flange, and you can't get, like, I can't get it out of the flange. Maybe because it's got a little lip on it. I don't know if I can grind the lip out, but I can see maybe if I can get it off. I might. There we go. So you see, this has got like a tooth. It's supposed to have like a little tooth in it, and it doesn't, which is why this wheel isn't spinning, because the teeth on it are good. But I've never really rolled with this setup before for self-propel, so I'm not quite sure. But I'm going to see what we got going on, and I will see if I can find a parts one. And if I can, I'll slap it on the left side over there, because I think there's like self-propels that I'm not going to be worrying with out there that may be somewhere. So let me go look and see what I got going on. Alright guys, so I've got it, I don't know if you could call it got it figured out or what, but what I've done is something that works. I don't know how to explain it, but I'll do my best. So what I did is I ended up putting a different carburetor on it. This is a carburetor that goes on like a tiller like this, actually. I think it's one of these, similar in nature, kind of. But what it is, it's got a manual choke on it. Because what it was doing is it would run fine. Both carburetors were like this. They'd run fine, and then as soon as I would put this air filter cover thing back on, they would stop running fine. They would actually create some sort of seal in this to where it would not allow, where it would actually flood out the carburetor, flood out the engine and all that, and then it would start leaking almost like the needle and seat was bad. As soon as you take this off, it would quit. Train horn. Anyways, So what I did, and I hate this isn't even a fix, but it works. I have a manual choke on this, so I manually choke it, and I have left a tiny air gap in between this air filter and the carburetor. I don't know what else to do, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, you can't buy these carburetors aftermarket. The problem's not the carburetor, the problem is the seal of the air filter on the carburetor. And I don't know what it is. Something's going on with it. But I don't know if you can see, but I have a tiny sliver of an air gap there. I know it's going to let a little bit of dirt in, but I really don't know what else to do here, because as soon as I seal that up with the gasket, it starts leaking like a needle and seat issue. This is not the first mower that I've had happen with this 7 horsepower Briggs overhead valve. I've actually had one with the horizontal shaft that did the same thing with the same type of carburetor. So like I said, I don't know. If y'all know of another fix to this or why it does that, I would love to know. But what's happening now, I mean, let's see if I can, I mean, it's starting up. It usually starts on about 2 or 3 pulls. Well, come on, buddy. You can see I've washed it and everything too. But, and I fixed the self-propel. I'll show you that in just a second. But I let it sit while I went to dinner, came back. It has not leaked out any, which is good. I found one of these that I showed you, those parts. I just popped it back on. It had a spring in the back. And just make sure that spring stays on there. Pop it on. That tooth comes out, and the self-propel is now fixed. I don't know where I put my tripod. It's back there, but I can show you that self-propel works still. Let me get the... And I do want to apologize if I sound like I've been a little distraught during this video. It's just been one of those days where you list something and then people just don't show up to pick them up, and it's a little frustrating. But see, it always starts on like second or the third pull, which is better than some overhead valve Briggs that I've had. But here's the self-propel, and this mess is fast too. Woo! So and so it's actually going to do me good that I'm going to be wiring a switch onto this too, because whoever buys this is going to have to choke it, pull it, and then reach back up here and turn the choke off. So it's actually going to work out in the end. Anyways, oil's good. I think I might need to sharpen the blade. I'm going to wire that switch. Y'all see me wire that switch quite a few times. And then we are going to, I think might go ahead and take pictures of it actually, and list it tonight, hopefully sell it tomorrow. This thing was a battle though, guys. This thing was a battle. But we got something that's gonna work. It's not the way I want to fix it, but I don't know of any other way to fix it. And it's a crazy problem with the way that seals with the air filter. Let me know if y'all have any other solutions besides the one that I have done for this. Alright guys, like I mentioned, I came back after dinner. I wanted to film this before it got too dark. And no fuel leaks, no anything, so that's good. Which is awesome. It's a little bit of a... It's kind of cool that carburetor that has the manual choke on it will actually work on this. That's definitely a thing for me to keep in mind for future of these, because these carburetors are hard to get right. As evidenced in this video, I mean... We tried to do the primer bulb setup, and it didn't work. It was like getting back pressure, and it was causing the fuel to leak out of the carb. And I honestly don't know why. But it's set here. I did reallocate to tighten this air filter up a little bit so that there's not as much of an air gap in between the carb. So I think we're going to be okay when it comes to that. Put a couple of washers out here on the outside of that. I don't have the gasket in between the carb, but I think it's going to work okay, like I mentioned. And so that's what we've got going on. Wired up my toggle switch like I do on a lot of these. Remember, it controls the ground, so O is off and I is on. This is honestly the best way if you have a bad cable to make it safe to use still, so that you're not ripping plugs out and stuff to get this thing to turn off. I've done this many times, never had an issue with it. Self-propel's working again. Let's give this thing one final, and it's red, resale red, like what we call it. Let's give this thing one final look, and then we'll call it on this video. So that's it, guys. Let's wrap this video up and call it a day. Alright guys, so as we end the day, excuse me, we got this thing done. Wasn't looking very promising earlier in the day. Like I said, I think I've hammered it home so much in this video. I don't have a clue why whenever I sealed that gasket up to those both carburetors that it would leak like it did. I thought I had it one time and then it just started leaking again. Ever since I took that gasket out and kind of spaced out, I mean, there's not much of an air gap, but like it will not work if it is sealed tight, which is the craziest thing I've ever seen. But I have seen it on this mower before, a mower like this with the overhead valve Briggs. So we retrofitted a choke carburetor to it, a manual choke carburetor to it, allowed for a little bit of an air gap in between the air filter housing and the carburetor. I don't like the fact that I have to do that because it is going to let a little bit of dirt in there, but hopefully it's not going to suck too much in there just with the air gap being so minimal. And like I said, changed out that carburetor and wired a hot switch to it, changed out this self-propel wheel. So I know this may have been a little bit of a lengthy video. I am sorry for that, but and I may not sound the happiest, but it was more so of the fact that it didn't seem like I was making any progress today when it came to this and when it came to selling another mower. When you can only have so many no-shows before you start getting a little frustrated. And so I hope y'all didn't hear much of that in my voice, but I know it wasn't the most perky when it comes to making this video, just because I'm sitting here dealing with a push mower that's worth maybe $100 and want to try and get it out, and you're like that close, but you can't get it sorted out fully. We got it sorted out for the most part here. We've got it sorted out good enough to get it out the door and hopefully running reliably for somebody. Remember, I don't stick people with mowers as is. I usually say, you know, if you got any problems with it, let me know. I'm not perfect. I mean, $100 is $100 and I'll get it back another way. So thank y'all again for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I hope y'all learned something on this. I know it was a little bit of a lengthy deal going on with this carburetor, but we got something sorted out that's going to work, and we'll keep on cruising on to the next one. So again, if you have any questions about the video, feel free to reach out to me, Ellis at ellismowers.com, or at ellismowers09 on Instagram and Facebook. And remember, I have that partnership with HiPA, that if you use the link in the description below and buy any sort of aftermarket parts from HiPA, using that link, I get a little bit of a commission off of it. So thank y'all again for watching. I will catch y'all on the next video. I'm going in the house. It's dark. We'll see you next time.